Just look at that. Perfect golden crispy pork scratchings at home. Nice and light. They've got that crunch. Listen to this. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing an absolute belter, one of my favourites. We're doing pork scratchings. Now, you know, back in the day, a few beers, pork scratchings, absolutely fantastic. In Thailand, pork scratchings are everywhere, but you know, they're really expensive and they're easy to make. They're only made out of pork skin, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Okay, we've got about 1 kilo of pork skin. Now, it's already been cleaned and prepared. You know, sometimes you might get hairs and things on there, and you've got to take your knife and scrape the hairs off, you know, but it doesn't really matter because it actually cooks away anyway. It's just whatever you think in your mind. If there's any meat on the inside, and there's only a little bit, leave it on. It tastes fantastic on the pork scratchings when it's made. It's like an extra treat. So we've got this skin going on here, look. We've got about 1 kilo of skin. And what we're going to do, we're going to slice it, and then we're going to slice it into small cubes. And as you can see on here, we've got a little bit of fat on here, and that's what we need. You can't just do it with all skin. There's nothing in it, you know, it'd be like crunching on something really hard. So we have a little bit of fat on there, look. So that is absolutely perfect. If you can get anything like that with a little bit of fat on there and the skin on, perfect. We need to cut this into about yay big, somewhere around about there, and we're just going to slice it through. So we got that going on there, look, and if I put my 3 fingers on there, you can see. So it's probably about 2.5 to 3 centimeters wide. So we're just going to do all our pork skin about the same size, nice and steady, and put it in that bowl. And then we're going to cut it into smaller pieces. That's our skins and our fat. We want to be turning it over, and we're going to cut these into about centimeter pieces. Now, we're not serious on this, so if they're a bit bigger or a bit smaller, we're not bothered. We're looking at something like that. And that's going to give us a really nice crunchy pork scratching. And then we just need to be putting this in our pan. So we're going to crack on and do it all. So let's just crack on. We need these roughly the same size because they've all got to cook the same. So there we are. We've got a really nice pan full of our chopped up pork. Okay, so what we need to do, we want about 1 teaspoon of salt in here. So just get your salt in. Go in there with some water. So just get some water in there. About that much. That's going to help it. So we just got to get a flame on. Flame on. High enough to boil it up, but don't burn it. Okay, so let's just give that a mix through. Get that salt and all that pork in there. So there's no rush for this at the moment. We've got to bring it up to the boil, but we've got to keep stirring it because it will stick, and we need everything to separate as we're stirring. Now, I appreciate some of you guys are not going to eat pork. I know that, but we're making pork scratchings. Now what we're going to do is stir this until the water evaporates. Just keep stirring it over till the water evaporates. Now the use of the water is for 2 reasons actually. One, this pork's not going to stick to this pan, not until it starts rendering down, and then it should be easier to move around. And secondly, if we'd have just put the pork in the pan, put the flame on, the pork explodes in the pan. It starts to render down and pops all over. You get oil everywhere. So it's really nice and straightforward. All we got to do is keep turning it in, turning it over so they're getting some heat on all these pork scratchings until the water evaporates, and then the oil will start to render out. So as you can see, the water started to evaporate away now. And when the water evaporates, what we need to do is turn it down. We turn it down and let the pork render out that fat. You don't need to cook it so high a flame to render out the fat. So we're going to turn it down just that little bit there, and then we're going to start to render out this fat. As you can see, it's starting to get tacky on the bottom of the pan. You have to keep stirring it all the time. Nice and low and slow, and it's not going to explode. Just make sure you keep turning it over nice and gently, and it should all render out. This whole process is going to take probably about 10 to 12 minutes to render this down. Nice and steady, and we'll end up with a nice pool of lard in this pan. So as you can see, it's starting to really render out the fat now. The more oil there is in there with that heat, it starts to render down pretty quickly. Right, there's an awful lot of fat in here. And what we're looking at these skins. If these skins have started to go hard, this is nearly done. Now, if it didn't have so much fat in here, the skins would have gone hard a lot quicker. But what we don't want to cook these through till the skins start to puff up, because we cooked this 2 times. So these are nearly ready to be turned off and just left in the oil to go cool. So that is cooked enough with this amount of oil in here. So we're just going to turn off the flame, just give it another couple of stirs. There's no flame under here now, but we don't want it to stick on the bottom. And we're just going to let that sit in that oil to go completely cold, and then we're going to refry to puff them all up. Right, it's been about an hour. It's cooled down really nicely. What we need to do now is heat it up. We're going to heat it quite high to start off with. It's all going to puff up in the pan, and we're going to turn the heat down and finish off the cooking. So let's get a flame on and let's get that heated up. So don't forget, keep giving this a stir, because as soon as this gets hot enough, it's all going to come together and start puffing up in the pan. As you can see, it's starting to crickle up. It's starting to crackle up. You can hear it crackle, crackle, crackle in the pan. Nice and gently, we just need to keep moving it. Now, the object of this is actually to cook this so it's golden, a light golden brown actually, because if you cook it too far, it goes rock hard, and we don't want to burn this. So we just have to cook it till it's golden, puffed up, and then when you bite into it, you get the crunch, but you still got the softness through the fat. Oh. So you can see it's started to puff up a little bit there. Looking nice actually. Nice and gently, just keep it moving. So we're just working that round in there, look, they're just turning that lovely golden brown. These are very lightweight. Okay, so that's our crackers made. we just take them out and put them on a tray. Oh, listen to that crunch. I can hear that crunch already. Oh, superb. Just drain a bit of that off if we can. Just look at that. Perfect golden crispy pork scratchings at home. Nice and light. They've got that crunch. Listen to this. That is superb. Cold beer, anything like that. Eat with a dip. Superb. So that's our pork scratchings made at home. That is unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. Share with your friends. All that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.